Welcome to the most must-watch WSUW YouTube channel in history. Welcome to First Round KO.
Enjoy the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is
Howard J. Dingers. And this is 3 Count Review.
welcome everyone to Smackdown Live.
Smackdown Live Edition. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 3 Count Review, the Smackdown Live Edition, presented by First Round KO, and now apparently award-winning specialty show here on 91.7 The Edge. I won the best specialty show for my practicum class, so yay! Thank you for everyone for listening, and thank you to everyone. I'm in studio by myself today, but thank you for everyone who has come on the show all semester, and I will be continuing the show next semester as well, so I will keep everyone somewhat updated on that as we go forward. But as for today, I have a very fun episode of SmackDown to talk about out of Austin, Texas, continuing to build to TLC. And week in and week out, I am continuously just floored by the difference of Monday nights and Tuesday nights. Like, I watch Raw, and I want to turn it off, and then I come in on Tuesdays to do the review, and I just don't want to. I get angry talking about Monday nights, and then Tuesday night rolls around, I get to watch SmackDown, and it's just so much better. Wrestling is better. All the promos are better. It's only 2 hours, which I know is going to change in October, but SmackDown is just night and day better than Monday Night Raw. It's just been ridiculous lately. I don't understand it. I don't know why, but I love it. So Wednesday always rolls around, and I get to do the SmackDown review, and I'm always very excited to talk about it because we had an amazing show to talk about. So let's jump right in. We open up the show with Paige in the ring, and she is about to do the TLC match, the women's TLC match contract signing. There's a bunch of tables, ladders, and chairs around the ring, and Paige brings out the women. Becky Lynch comes out. She didn't come out. So Asuka comes out first. Then Charlotte comes out next to mixed reaction. And Becky comes out. Her title is already hanging above the ring because, TLC match. And she comes out to huge reaction. Of course, she's the man. A lot of Becky chants. Lynch noted that Paige said they're making history, so it must be a Tuesday. I completely agree with you, Becky. Anytime the man is in the ring, she makes history, and she promised to beat Asuka and Charlotte at TLC. Flair said she picked up the ball that Lynch dropped. The fans booed her, talking about the Ronda match. Flair noted that it took 1 kendo stick to beat down Ronda. False, took you 2. It's just small things like that the WWE need to just come on. It took her 2 kendo sticks, so just the point still makes this. Her point was it only took 1 kendo stick to beat Ronda, or to beat up Ronda. So with all these tables, ladders, and chairs, it'll be no problem beating you guys. 2 is still more than 3, or 3 is still more than 2, so just say 2 kendo sticks. Just keep continuity. And it also took 1 punch to injure Becky. The fans booed her again. Asuka interrupted and noted that Lynch beat Flair, but she has never beat Asuka. Great point to add in there. She said Lynch picked the wrong woman and that Asuka herself could have beat Ronda clean, actually could have beat her. And Flair pointed out that she beat Asuka and ended her streak at WrestleMania. Lynch said that they couldn't beat Ronda, and neither of them can beat her. Lynch signed the contract and left. I loved that part. It was probably my favorite part. Asuka and Charlotte were just bickering And then Becky was just like, screw it. She just flipped around the contract, signed it, and then walked away. Awesome. It was great. Asuka and Flair signed the contract. Asuka then challenged Flair to a match, but were interrupted by Mandy. Mandy and Sonya come out. Rose pointed out that Flair lost the Survivor Series, and DeVille said that Asuka winning the Battle Royal last week was a fluke, but both got the what treatment. But Paige said she was tired of hearing them talk, and she announced Flair and Asuka versus Rose and DeVille, and we're getting that match right now. Before the match happened, though, we had Shane in his office, and The Miz approached McMahon and wondered why Daniel Bryan was his guest tonight on Miz TV. Miz was upset and felt that McMahon was not holding up his end of the best in the world team. McMahon told him that to use his skills and get the answers from the new Daniel Bryan. I'm excited to talk about that segment too. Mandy and Sonya versus Charlotte and Asuka. Pretty decent match. I like all four of these competitors. Mandy's the weakest out of them, but I don't mind Mandy's work. She's pretty good heel act, and I think even in the ring it translates pretty well. She's not a great wrestler, but being a heel, she's able to use that to her advantage, so I think it works really well. Rose pulled, towards the end of the match, Rose pulled Asuka off the apron, and then Asuka pulled Rose back off the apron, and Asuka jumped up onto the apron, and Flair turned around and hit Asuka with a boot, thinking that it was Mandy. At least that's what they were trying to convey. It didn't look that way, but we'll go with it. Flair then rolled up Sonya for a schoolboy roll-up, but Asuka hit Charlotte with a running knee, and Sonya pinned her for the win. This was great. Obviously, the tension between the two, you can't have two people who are feuding beat an actual team. I really like that. They're kind of putting this Sonya and Mandy thing off to the side. I think they're going to revisit it eventually, so I don't mind that at all. And, Asuka had a great face at the end of the match. She was doing that fake sympathetic thing like, oh, I'm sorry, did I kick you in the face? Oh, did you lose the match? Oh, it was fantastic. Asuka was fantastic in this. Charlotte was pretty good. This was just a great segment. Great in general. I'm really looking forward to the match because they're playing up wins and losses. This isn't about being friends. It's a women's feud that's actually playing off of wins and losses. Charlotte beat Asuka, but Becky has never beaten Asuka, and Becky has beaten Charlotte. There's all these different things. They're all contenders. I love it. It's great. I have to give props to SmackDown and to the WWE writers for this. They're actually booking a women's feud correctly. I think it's a result of Becky Lynch, but we'll see. I don't need to bring up. Jon Stewart was there. Cool. Jay Uso versus Xavier Woods and Cesaro in a triple threat match. This is obviously playing off of the triple threat tag team match that's going to be at TLC. This was probably the best SmackDown match that I have seen in a long time. This was just a fantastic match. I recommend going and watching the full version of this match because it was just incredible. At one point, Cesaro went for the swing on Jay, and Xavier was up on his shoulders, so he was doing the big swing and the airplane spin at the same time, and then immediately threw Jay for the spin, or from the big swing, and then put Xavier into the what is his move that he does? Oh, the sharpshooter for Tyson Kidd. Great spot. It was just fantastic. All three of these men are just awesome. Cesaro is amazing. This was just great. And then we had, let's see here. Oh, yeah. While Woods was in the sharpshooter, Jay hit Cesaro with a super kick. Woods rolled up Cesaro for the near fall off of Jay's super kick. And then Cesaro sent Woods to the floor, but then Jay hit another super kick again for the win. Awesome spot. It was playing off of the madness of the three. And I think these guys have such great chemistry. I think it was on Wrestle Talk, they mentioned how these three teams, their chemistry mirrors the chemistry of Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudley Boys. How all of their great chemistry. So I like them. I really hope that this match gets turned into a TLC match. I don't think it will, but I think it should because it's just fantastic. So then we had a backstage segment. Caleb Braxton was interviewing Lana and Rusev. Rusev said he was hungry, but not for food. He's hungry for the United States Championship, and he promised to beat Shinsuke Nakamura on Rusev Day. Good little promo, I guess. Rusev was going on about like how the U.S. title means pride and courage, and it's historic and prestigious. And I'm just going back on how, when he used to have the U.S. title and he was a heel and he was the foreign heel. I don't know. Continuity, but then again, WWE has short-term memory loss, so they probably don't remember that. Another Lars Sullivan video package. It's good. I'm going to get sick of it because apparently he's not coming till Royal Rumble because the video package wasn't supposed to start till TLC, but now Vince liked it so much that they started it early. I'm going to get sick of this real quick. I'm going to get sick of Lars Sullivan before he even comes up to the main roster. Then we had Miz in the ring for Miz TV. He started doing his intro, welcome to, but then R-Truth and Carmella interrupted. All they did was come out and yell dance break, and they started dancing. And then they stopped and they said, all right, continue, Miz, and they left. It's just, I don't mind that at all. It gave me a laugh. It was funny. I enjoyed it. I can't fault that at all. Miz finished his intro and introduced the new Daniel Bryan. Miz noted that Bryan looks the same, but he isn't. His eyes are open and he doesn't listen to the people. He said winning is all that matters. Miz pointed out that he has been right all along about doing whatever it takes to win. Bryan said he came to the realization that he doesn't care about the people. He let his dreams take over. He said he has no intellectual peers to have real discussions with. Bryan tried quoting Alexander Hamilton, but the fans gave him the what treatment. And then he called them fickle and noted their sheep for doing something that was lame 20 years ago, referring to the what treatment. That was great. That was a great spot. Bryan pointed out that he kicked AJ in the groin for the title, but that was one person. That was only one sin. He yelled at the people for destroying the earth because his one sin doesn't compare to all the sins that we commit every day because this man is an environmentalist. Like, for real, Bryan Danielson is an environmentalist. He's a vegan. He's very environmental conscious. So he's now turning this into a heel act, and it's just fantastic. The fans booed. He went on about how they're destroying the planet and future generations. Miz said for 8 years, Bryan painted The Miz as the bad guy, but Miz saw through Bryan. He asked Bryan again if he is WWE champion because he finally listened to The Miz. Bryan said it doesn't matter. He said the old Daniel Bryan is dead and the Yes movement is dead. And to prove that, because a lot of people were pointing out that last week, or 2 weeks ago, he said the Yes movement was dead, but he still had the Yes plates on his championship. So Daniel responded to that and took the Yes plates off the championship and threw them on the ground. So now the championship has no side plates. Awesome. AJ Styles ran out, but Bryan pushed Miz into Styles. Styles finally got his hands on Bryan, but Miz gave Styles the skull-crushing finale, and it was announced that Styles will go one-on-one with Miz in the main event tonight. Sorry, just had to take a little drink there. And then for I don't remember the number that I tweeted. It was kind of funny. I think it was like 3,726th time in 2018, we got Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. This match didn't need to happen. Okay. The point of this match was to have Jeff lose because of a distraction by Samoa Joe. Why did we need to do Randy Orton? You have Andrade Cien Almas in the back. You have Aiden English in the back, who both of them we haven't seen on TV in months now. Why not just have them? Why not just have them do the match? Rey Mysterio. And then Randy Orton could have played off of that later after the match. Like, There's so much more that you could have done with this. We didn't need to see Hardy versus Orton again. It didn't need to happen. Towards the end of the match, Hardy slammed Orton into the announce table and climbed to the top. Like, apparently he was going to swanton through the table. I kind of would have liked to see that. But suddenly, Samoa Joe appeared on the big screen. He was at a bar and taunted Hardy. Hardy was distracted, which allowed Orton to sneak up and hit the RKO for the win. Joe talked about drinking and responsibility and mocked Hardy more after the match. Joe's, again, I probably sound like a broken record every week. Joe's promo was fantastic. He nailed it. He can deliver any material that is given to him perfectly and make it seem real. He just did this. It was great. It was like a PSA almost about drinking. It was like, hey, be responsible because one can turn into too many and eventually you might wake up in jail if you wake up at all. It was just really good. It was just really good. You could go watch it. Samoa Joe was amazing. You know, I keep saying go watch it. You should just watch this episode of SmackDown. After this review, go watch the full episode of SmackDown. You'll see what I'm talking about. This was just a great episode of SmackDown. And then we came to AJ Styles versus The Miz. Before the match, we had Daniel Bryan, who was walking backstage, and Caleb Braxton thought that Bryan had left the arena. He said he does everything with purpose, and he doesn't run, and he said he's heading to commentary. I wonder where that's going to lead. Styles was firmly in control, blah, blah, blah. I'll skip towards the end of the match. Styles sent Miz into the floor and hit him with a forearm. Bryan distracted Styles, and Miz jumped him from behind. Miz hit the skull-crushing finale for a 2-count kick-out. It was a great near fall. Awesome near fall. Bryan tried to interfere, but Styles kicked him off. The finish came when Styles made Miz tap to the calf crusher. Great spot. You have the strong babyface who's going after the title still win even though there was a distraction. Perfect way to put him over. After the match, Bryan gave Styles a chop block from behind. He rammed Styles' leg into the ring post several times, like a lot. Daniel has just been vicious with his beatdowns. He continued to beat Styles and slammed his head into the announce table. Bryan then locked in the heel hook on Styles, which I hope is his new finisher, because then, you know, it's changing the finisher as a heel. People won't pop for the yes lock or the running knee. You can do a heel hook submission. I think it's great. I love submission finishes. Let's see. Oh, and then Bryan held Styles by the arm and stomped on his head, you know, doing the stomp spot. A great spot because it looks just vicious. It just looks intense. And then Bryan grabbed the belt, made the ring announcer introduce him as the WWE champion, the new Daniel Bryan. And Bryan got on the mic, and he stood up on the announcer's table. And someone pointed this out to me. I think it was Wrestle Talk again, where Daniel might be trying to play off of his WrestleMania 30 win when he won the combined WWE and World Heavyweight Championship, and he's on the table doing the yes chant. If he is trying to do that, that's perfect. I love it because he just gets up on the table and he just keeps calling people fickle. He says fickle like 30 times. Fickle, fickle, fickle. And then Bryan attacked Styles some more as the show went off air. He hit him with another chop block and put him in the heel hook again. Daniel Bryan is just fantastic. So what's not in these notes, I got these notes off of Wrestling Observer, by the way, so thank you to who writes these on Wrestling Observer. Excuse me. Daniel Bryan was on commentary for this, as he mentioned, and he kept going with the environmentalist thing where he was ragging on people. Corey Graves was asking him how he can become a better person. He was like, hey, you know, sometimes I eat meat and sometimes I drink plastic water bottles. And Daniel was like, everyone knows what they're doing wrong, but no one fixes it. No one does anything about it. And he's turning this thing, like if you think about it, he's talking about climate change. He's talking about these damaging things to the environment and being a vegan and all this stuff. And all this stuff is true. And if you do this stuff, it is actually helpful to the planet. But he is twisting this into a heel character, which is just so fantastic, where he has turned himself into just this massive, massive heel. I wanted to use another word there, but I'm live on air. He's just become this bad guy who's yelling at the world for being wrong. And even though we are wrong, we are damaging the planet. It's just so well. He also mentioned at one point that he hopes his daughter kicks as many men in the groin as she wants, including Byron Saxton. Which is great. Daniel is fantastic. I was very worried about heel Daniel Bryan and see if it worked, but I think he has just completely thought of his own heel character in his mind, and it's fleshing out on TV now. We fully know what Daniel Bryan is about. We know his heel character after the SmackDown. It's just fantastic. It's just so good. It makes for really good TV. It's going to play really well with AJ Styles. I think it'll play very well with Miz at some point, where you could have Daniel try to cheat to beat Miz, but Miz wins clean, so that the whole good guy thing actually comes full circle, because they're telling that story where Miz is telling Daniel that he's been right all along, you have to cheat to win type of thing. There's a lot of things that they could go into this. There's a lot of baby faces that you could play into. I love this. I can't wait for the rest of this. And yeah, SmackDown again, fantastic. I give it a 4 out of 5. I give it a 4 out of 5. I keep saying it's great. I give it a 4 because while it was amazing, we had really good matches. All the promos were amazing. All the stories continued. They all progressed. It was awesome. But nothing of significance happened. And I get that because it's not a go-home show. It's not the show after a pay-per-view or anything like that. So nothing big is going to happen. But, that's what's keeping it from a 4 out of 5. Or from a 5. And there's nothing wrong with that. A 4 is nothing to sneeze at, especially with what WWE TV has been lately. So, I'm very happy with the 4. I was very happy to watch this episode of Raw. I was very happy to talk about this episode of Raw. Or SmackDown, sorry. SmackDown. Raw is just plaguing my mind right now. But no, SmackDown was fantastic. The best match, the best TV match in a long time. We got to see Jay versus Xavier versus Cesaro. It's just great. I recommend going and watching that. I recommend going and watching the Samoa Joe promo at the bar. It was fantastic. And I'm very excited. I'm very excited for all the SmackDown matches at TLC. I'm excited for some of them on Raw. I'm excited for TLC in general, but mostly just the SmackDown matches. But yeah, like I said, very excited. So thank you very much for listening. I am on 91.7 The Edge, WSUW Whitewater, every Tuesday and Wednesday for the just next week, actually. Next week are my last shows, then Christmas break. I might still do them at home. I'm not sure. We'll see how that works. But so they'd be on YouTube. I won't be on 91.7 until late January, and then I'll be back. But I'll be on YouTube for most of break probably. But yeah, next week, Tuesday and Wednesday at 4. And then I upload them pretty quickly after on YouTube. So look out for those if you're listening there around, 5:30. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening, and I will see you next week.
Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Give us a follow on Twitter, links in the description down below. And make sure you listen to our podcast, First Round KO, on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher.
Until next time, peace.